Hey everyone, welcome to PopXP. And before the show starts, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications when we go live and we upload awesome new content. And don't forget, if you can, make sure to share our stream on all your social media outlets. We appreciate it, and thanks for helping us grow the PopXP channel.
Welcome, everybody, to the PopXP, to the Brofessionals, to a very, very special Halloween edition where the bros are going to share with you their favorite movie monsters and their favorite comic book monsters of all time, and then we're going to debate which one's better. So while we're going, because today is Andy Smith's anniversary, Fraga Boom has got to leave to do his show, and Art's having a little trouble with his camera, but we'll bring Art in last. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado or don't, why don't we bring in the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only, the master of disaster, the wraith of God, the most, I would say, computer efficient member of the Brofessionals, probably the meanest man in comics, the one, the only, Mr. Arron Lopresti.
Yeah, I am. Boy, am I computer efficient.
Yes,
you got problems, man. You come to me, Geek Squad, right here.
Come to him. All right. So we're gonna go real fast, everybody. Now another one. He is a badass. He wears Hawaiian shirts. We had a great little Graham Nolan con at the Terrific Con this past August. He is our monster man. He is probably our broster monster professional, whatever, horror professional. The man he's kicking ass with Alien Alamo. He a lot of his comics are rooted in horror, which I think is pretty fantastic. Everyone does. He's killing it on Indiegogo. And without further ado, the newly father-in-law to his daughter and her husband this past weekend, ladies and gentlemen, Graham Spankin' Nolan.
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. You see my gas price is supposed to be fucking $90.
Brandon, baby.
Let's go, Brandon.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go with a man right now. The man that rolls. He likes his licks. He likes the rapping. He likes to get it out there. He should be a jazz singer if he wanted to. Probably the handsomest man of the bros. But why not bring in the man, the myth, the legend again, the king of Fragtober, ladies and gentlemen, Fraga Boom.
Bibbidi bobbidi bibbidi bobbidi boo.
Pow! Nice.
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. Graham, I'm liking the lights. All right, and now the reason why I'm bringing this man in fifth, because I just want to hear him say the tagline. But one of the coolest guys you will ever meet. He runs marathons. Today is his anniversary, I believe, right? And he's hanging with us losers. So without further ado, I'm on painkillers, man. I had surgery today. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, the Dark Knight, Andy Smith.
Look at these four people.
Holy shit.
Look at these four people.
All right.
Where's Andy?
Yep. And now we have a very special.
I'm right here.
Andy.
Holy shit.
Well, now we have a very, very special guest for you, ladies and gentlemen. The king of the world, the cave painting maestro, probably the first one ever to have any success in the bros when he was painting parts of the Sistine Chapel and assisting Michelangelo. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only chrono mechanic himself, coming to you live in black and white, Mr. Andy Smith.
Or Thibert.
I mean, sorry, RT Bear. Sorry, Art.
Drugs.
Art, you there?
Man, those drugs are working it,
Yeah,
baby. Shoot some
Like I
down
said,
here.
it's a hell of a drug.
I'm looking
Well,
at Andy.
I have to say thanks for that warm intro, Billy. That was very sweet and from the heart.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to go.
Go, Brandon. Oh, I have to say real quick. I was talking to Arron off the air, and he managed to get my camera working.
Oh, great.
So thanks for the advice, Arron.
Sure.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah. So you guys ready? Here we
Yeah,
go.
bring it on.
What the?
Oh, nice.
I wanted to see if bald truly is beautiful, and
Look
I
at
think
that.
it is. Look at this.
Dude, if that was just painted up flush right, you'd look good.
Look at that.
Oh!
You guys
There
are
we go,
doing it
bro.
right.
Bros before hoes. Here we are, man. The bro.
Doing it right.
Now we're
Doing
on.
it right.
Go.
I couldn't find this.
Hey, what do you guys think of wannabes?
We love
Hey,
them.
come
Here
on,
we
man.
go.
This is a tribute, Graham. This
Here
is
we
a
go. Here we
tribute.
go. Hang on.
Awesome.
Look at that.
Oh,
Look at that.
It looks like he's going to go for a swim in Coney Island.
Oh,
Exactly.
Hang on. Look at it. Look at it. Mine looks like a do-rag.
You look like a condom.
It's that mustache on you, man.
I
What
need
the
you to
jeez?
sell me some buckets of chicken.
Oh, I don't know anything
I
about
like the little
technology.
goatee.
I just like to draw a wraith of God, and
You kidding me?
know,
Billy's gonna
That was
walk
your
into a
impersonation of
7-Eleven
me.
and stick the
That
place
was an
up.
impersonation of me. You better work on that, pal.
I kind of look like
That's good at me
Stan.
as your
Lee.
poet.
I kind of look like Stan with this mustache.
There, yeah.
It does look like a Stan mustache.
Oh, we got it. And past Masterson, yes, of course. Egg
It's
T-Bear.
the bear.
There.
Excellent. Excellent.
You need to
All
pick
right,
up a cat and just pat a cat throughout the whole show.
There you go. All right, so
I'm gonna have nightmares.
Yeah, man. Shit.
hey, man, this is what we do, man. The bros.
Oh,
Right.
What we do. All right, so let's start off with this. Let's get going. Arron Lopresti. Let's go with you first, my friend. Let's talk. Why don't we talk movie monsters first? How about that?
Okay, well, this is I would approach this probably a little differently than Graham would, even though we may come up with the exact same thing. But I always judged how much I liked the movie monster by how good I thought the makeup was. Okay, so for example, Frederick March and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, that was spectacular. Karloff is Frankenstein. Karloff is the Mummy. Of course, both of those were Franklin Pierce makeup jobs. And
Jack Pierce.
Jack Pierce.
who did I say? Yeah, Jack Pierce. Excuse me. And but then I love the Creature from the Black Lagoon. That whole suit, that whole outfit is just killer. But I know where Graham's probably going to go, so I'm going to try and not go that direction because we don't want to. I'm going to go with, and this is neck and neck for me, baby, between Karloff's Frankenstein and Frederick March, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. But I'm going to go with Mr. Hyde.
Wow. Now, do you have a screen share of Frederick March and his Oscar winning? Right, 1932. He won the Oscar for
Yep.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
He did.
Give me a second. I'll get you for it. But
Now, was it the makeup that you liked so much? I mean, that amazing that bullet head he had, right, with the yak hair or whatever Jack Pierce did on it. And I think that was Jack Pierce too, right? I mean, it looked like Jack.
yeah,
Pierce
that was
makeup.
Paramount. I don't think it was
Yeah.
Pierce, but it was.
No, I don't
really
think it
good.
was Pierce.
Wow, it was
Was
great.
it Pierce?
I don't think so. That was
No,
Paramount.
you know what, Graham? I wrote this down, and gosh darn it, actually it wasn't Pierce. I can't remember the guy's name, but I actually wrote it down because when we were, you had your 31 Days of Monsters, and I was like, that's some, who did that makeup? It made me start to think about it, and but doggone it, I don't have it.
It was an extraordinary performance by Frederick March as well.
Yes, it was. And you know what? Here's the interesting thing about that movie is it was incredibly racy for its time.
Yes.
And they actually had to cut out some of that. I'm getting really close to sharing this with you.
Okay, I can.
They
Way to be prepared.
I know. I was going to go a different direction, but there it is down there.
Gosh.
All right.
You found it?
Miriam Hopkins played the, shall we say, the less than.
I would say that. I think that's fake. I would say she was a loose woman, a
Yes.
woman you could feel for. But yeah, look at that. I mean,
And
the
I
handsome
believe-
Frederick March
I
turns into the.
believe that they cut out, like Graham, you might know this. They cut out once because they didn't have censors in place at the time in 1931. They didn't have like a movie code. But
Right.
once that thing
Yeah,
got
yeah.
put on late, and I don't remember what year it was that came in. So any re-release or anything on TV, they cut out like 8 minutes of the film or something like that. And I'm guessing it was some of the scenes with Miriam Hopkins because some of that stuff was a little bit saucy for 1931.
Oh yeah, when she hikes up her skirt and shows her leg, and
Yep.
Ooh, leg.
She
Yeah.
has it off the side of the bed, like swinging it at him when he first saw her as Dr. Jekyll.
Yeah.
And it kind of fades out with him just remembering her like sexy leg hanging out of the bed, and which kind of created this desire for him to go back. But
There's a side boob shot too.
Side boob.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Under
And
boob.
the interesting thing about this makeup was that they wanted to they took a very sort of evolutionary approach to this, and that Dr. Jekyll would become more and more ape-like, going back to his roots, if you believe that. So his makeup became more and more and more ape-like as he got further down the road and became more bestial and as like the last scene of him is Mr. Hyde. He's just like a droopy-eyed gorilla looking
Yeah.
thing.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yes, that was sort of the direction they went with the makeup on this film. But I'm going to go with that because I thought it was it was a really sort of I mean, it was I don't know if I guess you'd probably call it a horror film in some ways, but it was.
I would, yeah.
Very, very creepy film, very well acted, and tremendous makeup, especially for like that period of time.
Yeah.
So,
Frederick
there you
March was outstanding in that as this virtuous guy who let his passions get away from him. And he was just fantastic. He's handsome. He used to model for Arrow shirts.
Yeah.
That's how good looking he was.
And he looks exactly like that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks just like an Arrow shirt model.
Yeah.
You know, and then he becomes this beast, and his performance as the Beastle, Mr. Hyde, is incredible. It's so violent. He's so physical, jumping over shit and knocking people down. And it's great.
When he was in the apartment with Miriam Hopkins, or just some of that stuff is just horrifying. I mean, it really is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love
what he's going to do. Right? He's going to kill her. Is he?
And he used whips, right? He whipped her. Remember, she showed his back, so he's like raping her and whipping her and stuff. And
right.
And then I love that the first transformation where they use the green light and red light technique. If you guys know, so it was black and white footage for those you don't know, and his makeup was all in red. It was painted all red and stuff, but he was filmed in a green light. And then as the transformation started, he started to turn. They started to lower the green light and bring up the red, and that just brought out that. Right, the shading, the painting that they did on his. Oh,
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
and he's going like.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's
cool. Very simple.
Yeah,
transformation.
They just switched the filter on the camera.
That's what it was. That's what it was. The filter.
Yeah, and then it caused him to to display the ink or the makeup that was on him.
I love that in camera stuff. I think they were a lot more clever than the digital age, where they can do anything. Right. But back then they had to figure out how to make it actually tangible. It had to work physically. And that's a lot, man. Yeah, I love behind the scenes stuff on like older films because you hear those guys just talk like, how are we going to do this? And then somehow they manifest it, physically. And it's pretty amazing. And sometimes it's really simple effects.
The final transformation that Arron was talking about just before the end of the film, where he's completely bestial and like they had to take stuff to pull his eyes down, right? And hold him in place. And Frederick March went into the hospital after filming that scene, and they were afraid that it damaged his looks for good.
Oh,
wow!
That's how bad they were worried about what they did in the makeup for that.
Well, I'm going to show this transformation scene. Let me see. Let me just.
Wally Westmore did the makeup.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I just dug it up.
Okay, so here it is. I'm going to do it without sound, so you don't get in trouble. But you guys have to watch this. It's just extraordinary for 1931. So that means that they probably shot it in 30.
No, it came out in 32.
Oh, came out in 32.
They shot it in 31.
Shot it at the end of 31.
But let's grab this over here, throw it over there, and let's just watch it.
Yeah, this is all pre-Breen code.
Yeah.
I don't know what Breen code is.
With the Hayes office and all, right?
Hayes office, yeah.
Yep. Women couldn't show their ankles but just watch. Just look at that.
Man, those are the faces I made when my wife was putting this bald cap on.
Look at that face. Here we go.
That's my O face.
Look.
Look at that.
awesome.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's all in camera.
All in camera.
And then he changes a little bit, and they go to the makeup. But
yeah,
fantastic pick.
Nice.
Arron,
That's how I look like that in the morning.
You can kind of almost see like the silent movie sort of makeup look to this, because it was so close to being a silent movie. You know, it's just like 2 years removed from silent films.
But the pain, right? I mean, what are those teeth made of? You know, that must have hurt. You know, look at the rings in the nostril to expand them.
Yeah.
Like Lon Chaney went through so much, you know, similar. I mean, they learned it all from. Yeah. Oh, you're right. Because look, he doesn't look really ape-like there.
Right. That's good.
He changes every each transformation. Yeah, he gets more and more ape-like was what their intention was.
Yeah.
Exceptional.
That's all very cool.
Let's go to Graham Nolan. Let's go to your pick, Graham. And do you want to lead in?
One more quick one for Graham. You might know this, but there's a terrific James Bama cover for a paperback for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde that Bama did the cover for. Have you seen this?
Well, I've seen the Jekyll and Hyde painting he did for the Aurora model kits.
No. Go ahead. I'll bring it in. And we'll show.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Cool.
You brought up the Aurora model kits, man. That was a big part of my childhood.
Oh, me too.
Every kid I knew had those things.
Explains a lot.
What was up with the Godzilla kit? Remember, he looked like a beak. He had that beak, Godzilla.
No, that was the 1962 version from King Kong vs. Godzilla.
He was that pointy like that?
It was closer to that one than any other one. I love that version. That's my favorite Godzilla, actually.
I like
so my choice is my favorite monster, bar none, is Boris Karloff's Frankenstein. I love the makeup. I love the pantomime. I love the story. When they bring the monster on stage and he walks in backwards and then it gets exposed by the light coming in from the ceiling, is just one of the greatest reveals in monster movies ever. You just can't beat Karloff in this movie. Now, a lot of critics think that the apex of horror was The Bride of Frankenstein, and I don't particularly care for that movie. I find the music bombastic, the stretches of fantasy too far. It's very uneven. While the original Frankenstein, to me, it's got its faults, because of the year it was made. But once Karloff comes on stage, it's all over but the crying. I mean, you can't take your eyes off the screen.
Yeah. And he was right. Now, this is the movie that made him a star. And wasn't he like 46 years old or something like that?
Yeah, he was in his 40s.
And he removed his, he had like some false teeth in the back. So he removed the dentures or something.
Yeah, he had a bridge back there and he took it out. And that's what that indent is, in his face. And it gave him that more, he was I want to say out of work, but a very, a working class actor who didn't have a lot of money. He didn't eat a lot. So his appearance in this film is the best it's ever been because he's quite thin, cadaverous, if you will, when you put the Jack Pierce makeup on him. By the time Bride of Frankenstein came 4 years later, he was a successful actor and could eat better meals. So he was a little thicker. He didn't have the same look that he had in this first one. So to me, this is the king of them all right here.
Did they do something to his hands? Because his hands look huge.
No,
maybe it's just me.
He shortened his jacket, right? To make his arms
shortened his jacket, and to give it that look and everything. But yeah,
the thing that ticks me off about the Legend of Frankenstein is we talked about lighting effects with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Now they used a green makeup on his skin, right, with the intent of having him look more gaunt, and because it looked better in black and white. He looked paler and gaunt and more dead, if you will, right?
Right.
But that's become sort of this thing that whenever someone does a Frankenstein illustration in color, they always do him green, which pisses me off because that's not the intent. They used the makeup to make him look more pale. So if you do a full color illustration of Frankenstein, he should be pale looking, not green. And that's drove me crazy since I was a kid. Had to get it off my chest.
Have you ever seen the color footage that was shot for Son of Frankenstein?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. The behind the scenes stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is truly a classic. Todd Browning. Was it Colin Clive, right?
No, not Todd Browning. It was James Whale.
Oh, James Whale. That's right. James Whale. That great movie, Gods and Monsters, too.
Mm.
That's a fantastic film. But it was, right? Colin Clive,
yep.
right?
Yep.
And who played the Hunchback?
Dwight Fry.
Dwight Fry. Yes, Dwight Fry, who also was Renfield, right? In Dracula.
One of my favorite scenes in Frankenstein is Dwight Fry when he comes down because they're knocking on the door and he tells them to go away, and he's got that little cane and he's going up the stairs. Now the guy's a complete wreck. He's filthy, his clothes are shit, and he stops on the stair to pull up his sock.
Yeah, I know.
Like there's this moment of vanity that I have to pull up my sock. I love that little bit of business. That is so awesome.
What was his name? What was the character's name again? It wasn't Igor. Fritz.
Yeah.
Fritz. No. Fantastic choice. All right, Danny boy, why don't we go to you? Well, let's go to
real quick. Give me full screen just real quick. So this is the Bama Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde cover.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Look at that. It's monochromatic like he did Doc Savage.
Yep, green monochromatic. It's awesome. He also did a Frankenstein one, too.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. I had that. Yes, I had
Oh, yeah.
I bought that in 7th grade.
Well,
the reason why Aaron likes that is because he got the skin color right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the test makeup?
Yeah, that's the test makeup.
Yeah, that's the test makeup.
They thought it was too scary, so they brought it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
That looks great.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so all right, Danny, let's go to you. Fragaboom, what do you got?
All right. This is the scariest movie monster I've ever seen
oh.
in my entire life. Joan Crawford. She always freaked me the fuck out anytime and every time. I kid. Really,
hairdo though. Seriously.
Yeah. In all reality, I don't have the exact affinity for the older movies that you guys do. I liked them, but they seem silly. Most horror movies seem silly to me. But the first movie monster that I was just like, he cracks me up, and I really like him, and I wanted to dress up like him is this guy here.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
None other than
I
Freddy
knew it.
Krueger.
I knew it. I was going to say Freddy Krueger.
Yeah. Of course, this is him just lounging, listening to his favorite tunes. But I really dug him. There was an iconography to him: the claw, the sweater, the hat, the voice. Also, he did freak me out to a certain degree because he was one of those horror movie monsters that you couldn't run from. If you fell asleep, he was there, and that's the place he could get you. And to me, that was this movie came out when I was 11, so it was very psychologically hitting. Hi, baby, you giving me a blow kiss?
Well, that's why you need the Dream Warriors, man.
Oh, the Dream Warriors were awesome.
How'd they do? Did they win?
Well, they had 8 more movies or 4 more movies after that.
Randy Howard giving us a super chat at $5 Canadian. Thank you very much. Those skull caps give me a Ming the Merciless vibe. What skull caps?
Actually, the funny thing is, if Art actually shaved his head, that's what it would look like here. The top of his head would look like Freddy Krueger. That's why he won't do it.
Or a potato.
Burn victim, making fun of the burn. He survived a serial killer, bro.
But I thought
he's a pedophile.
I feel like Wes Craven was definitely a master of, at least, I don't want to call it modern horror because it's from the 80s. I mean, it's 40 years ago. Hi, son.
Yeah, but did you see the making? Did you see on Netflix they have the movies that made us?
And I didn't see that one.
It's in the newest season. It's a great episode.
I can't wait to watch it. It's kind of a bummer that Wes Craven didn't make any money off of this series. That he had to wait all the way until the Scream series. He did a bunch of other movies afterwards that didn't really hit in the same way. and he gave up his rights to Freddy Krueger, which was like a boon for the people that got the rights. But later down the line, of course, he created the Scream franchise, which, you know, he got his due. But I love Freddy Krueger. I mean, I love all monsters.
Yeah,
I think they're fun, and you know, the stuff you guys are showing, I have an affinity for, because they were so innocent as monster movies that when my school would have movie night, they would show the Sinbad, you know, the Golden Jason and the Golden Fleece, all the Harryhausen stuff, along with a double feature of that. So they were okay to show that to 6 and 7 year olds. So I always thought it was just kind of fun. It was never like scary, you know.
That Tello scared the shit out of me.
Oh, and Jason and the Argonauts?
Yeah. Oh my God. I got a model of him, a big one. And it just terrified. it was just, oh my God, how do you stop this thing?
Yeah.
I didn't know you just had to open its heel and all the wine came out or whatever.
When I was in film school down at USC, Wes Craven taught a class in directing that I couldn't take because it was an elective and it would have screwed up my entire. So I never got to. It wasn't part of the regular curriculum to get your degree. So it was an extra, and I could not take it when he had it, when he was available for, because he was just there for like, it was like a guest thing or something. And he taught a class for this semester on directing that would have been, and I never got to take it, and I kind of regret that.
That's a bummer.
Yeah,
since you didn't graduate.
Yeah,
you might as well have taken it.
You might as well.
I mean, honestly, if you took it,
I might as well have, right? I mean,
if you took it and your career still went the way it did, Wes would have looked back on you and been like, "What a failure." So it's probably better you didn't.
I remember that Lopresti guy.
Whatever happened to? Oh, he's drawing comics.
Yeah, where's the bourbon, bitch? Fizz Pop wants to know.
What?
Fizz Pop wants to know. Where's the bourbon, bitch?
I had some at 5.
After that? Shouldn't there be a comma after the bourbon?
It should. All right, so Andy, let's go with you, my friend.
Okay, mine is I'm doing the old screen share now. You know, before I do, I watched, you know, growing up, I watched, you know, the Universal monster movies and stuff. I'm like Dan, though, I don't have the affinity for him that you guys do. So Aaron brought up this guy, and this was just one that stuck with me ever since I was a kid. So, and it was just because of the design of it, the creature.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the design. I remember seeing this as a kid, and as much as, you know, Frankenstein was cool and Dracula and the Mummy and whatever, this one I was just really taken with the underwater aspect of it, just the design of it for the time.
Yeah.
I still think, I can't believe they haven't, out of all the remakes they've done of movies, they haven't done this. And I think they could do a remake of this, do it all practical effects, just like back then, and not even really have to mess with the creature that much.
Yeah.
Because I think it still works.
But some things, I think some things that are perfection like this should be left alone. Because the creature also featured, because this is going to be my monster, but I have it back up. Probably one of the hottest.
There you go.
Scream queens, if you will. Damsels and Julie Adams. I love her eyebrows. I just everything. She was.
What was the movie they did recently? Something of water.
It was The Shape of Water.
Shape of Water. It was kind of like a Creature from the Black. Like romance. Type of movie, but I always liked the creature's design. I like the underwater photography. I like the strength because he'd snap like oars and all kinds of stuff. But the thing is, it was always a one-trick pony, so I never thought he was that interesting, other than the visuals. But as a character and as a story,
I'm going to go with blasphemy and agree with Art here, because as much as I love the look of the creature, it's one of my least favorite movies because I find the story plotting and the characters uninteresting, the human characters. When the creature's on the screen, I'm all in. But that, you know, when they get to the lagoon and all that Jack Arnold over explanation of, you know, this creature that lived in the Triassic Age or whatever it was, all that bullshit, you know, that scientific, you know, it just puts me to sleep.
Well, once again, I'm going for just visual only, not, oh yeah, I love the movie. I'm just going for the visual aspect.
No, I get it. It's
yeah,
one of the
okay.
greatest. And like
Yeah.
you said, I think they could make this today with very little changes to that costume.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
I was just adding, my 2 cents to it. Yeah.
No, but also just looking at it, the image that Billy just put up, just the fact that we know that that's a mask pulled over a dude's head. But generally, when you see that, you really go, "Oh my God, that mask it just makes him look like he has a ginormous head." And even though it just looks good, it's proportion wise and stuff. So
I think it's perfect. I think it's a perfect makeup. And again, I know you picked this as probably maybe your favorite monster, and Graham touched on this too, but about the story and all. But really, who are the monsters in this movie? It's not him.
The people.
Man is the monster.
Richard Denning's the monster.
Yes, Richard Denning, that bastard with a blowgun and a with a blowgun and what is it? A hydraulic spear gun and a pair of flippers.
Yeah.
Well, he gets things in the end. Spoiler.
Yeah.
It's kind of a King Kong story in a weird way, isn't it?
Oh, no doubt.
Yep.
Now there were 2 creatures. There was Ben Chapman, who was this creature, the on-land creature, because he was like 6'5", and then there was Rico Browning, who was the swimming creature. So all the underwater stuff is Rico Browning, and all the land stuff is Ben Chapman. And the way you can tell is the amount of chest plates. If you
really?
Yeah.
So there was 2 suits.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rico Browning was like 5'9", and Ben Chapman was 6'5".
Oh.
Wasn't there like a tank that was designed into the suit too in the back that he could have limited breathing capability?
It was off
on his back, isn't there? Yeah, I think you're
no,
right.
I thought there was. Screen, right? I think there was a tube off screen.
I think they hit air tubes off screen, and then like he would swim behind the rock and then put the tube in and breathe the air.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That way, because otherwise you'd have air bubbles escaping from his back.
That's true.
Andy, I'm going to show a little something if you don't.
Oh yeah, go ahead. You can.
I'm going to grab that footage of the creature swimming, and with Julie Adams.
I taught myself to swim underwater like the creature.
Yes,
without getting water up your nose, I could never do it.
Like all right. So
the thing about Graham is a beer snob and he's a horror movie snob. You just got to learn these things about it.
These things.
Okay, I'm a beer snob, but I am not a horror movie snob. I'm just critical.
I'm still watching this, by the way, because he's reaching for her legs now. Oh my God, I gotta share this. Fucking.
She's like, "What is that?"
Yeah, I mean, just watch. Look at this.
He just wants to touch her.
Touching her.
Touching her.
You ever swim in a lake, where there's like high weeds? And
it's just like a muck on the ground.
Something, and you're like, "Oh, what is that?"
It's gross.
He'd get canceled for doing this now.
Yo, girl.
Oh yeah.
Right.
She is so
He'd be
foxy.
underwater.
She's stunning.
That's hashtag me too.
I loved her.
Hey, but you know what? It's not like Cuomo, who just got charges against him.
He's gonna get arrested on Monday.
I love
Is that right? I hadn't seen
that.
Yep.
Misdemeanor sex charges.
There is a God.
Yeah. All right. This is just for me. This is not for you guys.
Okay.
Now. What are we talking about?
Don't make your beard fall off.
All right. So I'm gonna share a screen. Let me.
What about Art Thibert?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there.
Oh, Billy, you can go first. I don't.
No. I don't want to. I want to find a good image. So
Art to glare. He was blinding you with that bald head.
Go ahead, Art.
Okay, Art.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm kind of like all over the place with horror. So there's like different categories that I put it in, like monsters. So there's slashers, there's thrillers, there's like the universal stuff. So there's in each one of these categories, I have favorites. So, like Halloween, like the first Halloween for me is just a flawless movie. I love that. And the first, oh my gosh, what was it called? The zombie film, the
Walking Dead.
Night of the Living Dead.
I mean, Night of
the Living Dead. Yeah, just flawless as far as, and even like American Werewolf in London. Like I absolutely adore that movie. I think it's great. But if we're just going like classic icons, it would have to be this character here. I'm sharing now. So
yeah, all right.
Yeah, so it's it's launched.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the Phantom of the Opera. This is 1925. This is a silent movie, and to me, I can watch this anytime, and it's still just as riveting and captivating as the first time I saw it. I think the makeup, the performances, the art direction on this film is flawless. I think the villain is something I think that you can relate to on some level. And the one thing that I really dig is just I like behind the scenes stuff, kind of like what Graham and Aaron were talking about, And so like Lon Chaney was the man of 1,000 faces, and I remember hearing about that as a kid, and I was just like, oh shit! And then you hear like he put like fish hooks in his nose and pulled his nose back, and then he wore like what were they, like monocles, and pushed them into his eye sockets to get that deep set, and like there was all kinds of like, because they didn't really have prosthetics like they have today.
Right.
Yeah.
So they had to actually do physical stuff to themselves, their faces, to distort them and contort them. So there was that, and then there's a scene. There's just some icon, like when he comes down, he's got the skull mask on. He's all got the hat with the plume on and coming down. There's just
Mask of the Red Death scene.
Yeah, there's just iconic visuals in there. And then I saw behind the scenes kind of documentary on the film, and they said Lon Chaney did all of his own stunts. And I don't know if you guys remember, but the Phantom takes over this horse, this carriage, and he's riding on the carriage. Things just booking, right? It's just flying, and then it flips over, and then like the Phantom jumps because he's on top of it. He just kind of gets catapulted off. And they said that was actually Lon Chaney that did that. Wow. And so then you just realize that these guys did probably everything, or at least the majority of everything, in front of the camera. So, yeah, I think if I had to, like, it's so hard, but if I had to, I would pick Lon Chaney and the Phantom of the Opera, and just the idea that it's so captivating and it doesn't have sound. It's pretty much a testament to how captivating the movie is. And as far as I'm concerned, they've tried to do Phantom movies since, and I'm sorry, it's a pale comparison to this version. Yeah.
This is a silent movie that really is watchable even today, kind of like Nosferatu is. You can watch that film and it's just even though there's no dialogue, you read it. The scene where Mary Philbin unmasks him when he's playing the organ for the first time.
One of the greatest reveals ever.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Ever. I took Julie to see the Phantom of the Opera Broadway show. She wanted to see it. And, I'm not into Broadway shows and stuff. So I went because it was Phantom of the Opera. I figured, this will be great. So we get to the intermission and she's all excited. She's like, wasn't that great? And I'm like, there's an awful lot of singing.
Yeah. Faces on parade.
It's called Phantom of the Opera. And I said, I know, but I thought it was going to be like Lon Chaney. I thought like maybe they'd break out in song in places, but there'd be like, Lon Chaney doing stuff, and then he's like Mr. Handsome and he's like, all romantic. I was like, this is not the Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, there's no horror. There's no horror in the movie other than, his face is messed up. Yeah. And I don't know, like there's this too. So this is Karloff as the mummy.
No, that's Chaney Jr.
That is Chaney Jr. Yeah.
Okay.
That's not Karloff.
But the first one was Karloff, right?
Yeah, and he wasn't as this mummy in 30 seconds of film or 2 minutes of film or something like that.
I know, it's such great makeup, and you don't get to see it for just a couple of seconds. It so pisses me off so much about that movie.
But I think the original Mummy movie holds up. Like, you can watch it, and I think it still really does hold up. And then my other one was, as a kid was.
I've got that one too. That was my second choice.
Yeah,
that's
like Monster Island, all that stuff was just
Thunder Thighs.
Yeah, for giant monsters, Godzilla's my favorite.
Yeah, wow, Aaron, way to body shame Godzilla. Man.
I hate him. I hate those thunder thighs. That pear-shaped body drives me nuts. Sorry, I'm a calm guy all the way.
I love
it.
Dude.
I agree with Aaron though. I'm more calm.
Wasn't it Aaron that said Graham was a monster snob?
Yeah,
I know,
really.
And now he's body shaming Godzilla.
Wow.
Well,
Really, Aaron?
Body
It's
shamer.
just a movie. Don't lose any more hair over it.
no,
Damn.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, this is probably my favorite horror. This is my daughter.
Oh, wow.
What's that from?
This is how she went to work today. Yeah.
What? Where does she
Yeah.
work?
She works at Blackcraft.
What is that?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It's in California. Yeah, they sell like a goth like bags
I guess that makes sense then.
and paraphernalia.
She's a
Yeah,
piston, man.
That
Yeah.
looks like a professional photograph.
It does.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's nice.
Knowing her, she probably hired somebody, brought him in there.
Well, Art, I have if you see.
Oh man.
Oh.
I got it in San Diego, and I mean, just look.
Oh yeah,
Look at
dude.
that. Let me go big. Hang on.
Sideshow, baby.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
She's
That's
going big.
nice. Yeah, that's
No.
that is nice.
And then just look at that.
Whoa.
Sculpt is really nice on it.
Mm-hmm. The
Something's not right about the eyes.
6-inch figures.
Something. It kind of has a little bit of William Forsythe thing going on there, doesn't it?
It
Is he
does.
looking
I
off
see
to
it.
the side?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is a little. Yeah.
But
Do you guys
that
remember
leads
the
to my
Phantom
next
of the?
one.
Do you guys remember the Phantom of the Paradise?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
great. I love that movie as a kid.
Yeah.
Here's my
Was that
next
Paul
one.
Williams? Was he in that?
Yes,
Yep.
Paul Williams was
Yeah.
in it. All right, so I'm going to go to mine. Let me share mine.
Leg Kick One said, "I just refunded Wraith of God."
That's what you get. You don't
I know.
disparage.
It's Godzilla, man, and I just like.
And, yeah, this is
That's
probably
Wraith
my-
of
You gotta
Godzilla.
remember your audience, Aaron.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I shouldn't have said anything. The thunder thighs sunk me.
All right, Billy.
Yeah, this is my all-time favorite monster. I think my all-time favorite design is the creature from the Black Lagoon, of course.
Right.
But to me, he's been like a hero of mine since I was a child. In all honesty, he had his poster, the whole thing. But there you go.
Oh yeah,
Junior.
that was
Yeah.
like that was second or third on my list because I do like that original.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that film with Evelyn Ankers, Claude Rains, Maria Unspinskaya, who played Bela Lugosi's mother. Maria died a horrific death in Hollywood. She was a chronic smoker. She was the old gypsy woman, and she fell asleep smoking in bed and burned to death.
Oh,
Yeah.
oy.
Oh God, I thought you were saying Alec Baldwin shot her.
No,
Oh.
Too soon.
With a silver bullet.
yeah, what is so? I just love this idea. The classic Jack Pierce with the yak hair wig, and you could just see how much makeup in a decade from 1941 to say 1931, how it progressed.
Mhm.
And I mean, still Lon was still it was still sitting in the chair for 3-4 hours, I guess, right? But it was nothing compared to say like Boris. Was he something like 8 hours, Graham, in Frankenstein with the cheesecloth?
Yeah, the cotton and collodium they used
Yeah.
on Boris,
wow.
and they used some of that on him too because they didn't have prosthetics. So he
Right.
was, and when they had to do the changing sequence, I think they only had to do one of them for this first movie, but they had to lock him down. He's laying on a pillow, and you see him. No, wait, no, that's Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. They had like a plaster pillow. It looked like a real pillow because all concave, and it kept his head in there, and they could put the makeup on without him moving.
Wow. Well, I gotta tell you a funny story that happened to me. And I'll stop sharing since we're talking about it. Is that in college I wanted to make a werewolf makeup, which I did. So I made a mask. So I was reading books on how to do it and all. And basically, you buy the gelatin, and then you buy all the plaster, and you literally put the gelatin in. You put 2 straws in your nose, and then they pour the gelatin over you, and then the plaster over you, encase it. The thing is that we didn't realize you had to make a seam in the back of the plaster. And I have photos of this, and I'll get it from my buddy Mark. I was encased in plaster from my chest, from my shoulders, around my entire head for about 4 hours. And all I had was 2 straws sticking in my nose for me not to suffocate and die. And my friends didn't know how to get me out. I could hear them trying to write down and everything like that. I'll get the photos.
Oh, that's
it was
golden.
horrifying, but I survived. But my friend Paul had a hacksaw, and he came in and he was able to hacksaw me out of the freaking thing. I peel it apart.
Wow.
And then the next one I just did a face mask, a face one. But
really, you should check this weekend for Fathom events, because around the country on Saturday they're showing The Invisible Man and The Wolf Man as a double feature.
Oh, perfect. Oh, I'll check it out. Usually they have it at that Huntington Theater by me.
Yeah,
my wife, I can't get my wife to go see a horror film with me. She won't. I took her to see Nosferatu at Lincoln Center with a live orchestra. I thought it was the greatest thing in the world.
That's cool.
They had this orchestra, and it might have been like just a quartet or a quintet or something like that. And they played the live music, and there was, the film was on the screen at Lincoln Center, and it was incredible. And she's like,
awesome.
The thing is, my wife doesn't go to
That's
them.
grounds for divorce.
I know.
The thing about the Wolfman, that was never one of my favorite films. So I'm not a huge Lon Chaney Jr. fan, but I watched it recently and I thought this movie's a lot better than I remember it. But the one thing that I could never get over in it was that Lon Chaney Jr. was sort of this womanizer, like this woman, this ladies' man, and I never really bought him as
he's not a good-looking dude,
man, But
I always felt like the werewolf, and like the Hunchback were probably the most sympathetic, monsters.
Yeah.
What's funny about the Wolfman is that he's very fashion conscious. When he turns into the Wolfman for the first time, he's wearing slacks and a wife beater, and then when he's walking the moors as the Wolfman, he's got a nice button-down shirt. Buttoned all the way up to the collar.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
So then he comes back after changing after the moon is down and everything, and he changes out of his clothes.
Well, you saw Werewolf of London, I'm sure, right?
Oh yeah.
There's a great scene in there after he changes. He puts on his hat and his coat and then goes out to kill people.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty funny.
He was a more human werewolf in that one.
Yeah,
I love that jaunty hat he wore.
Yeah, I know. It was a great look. It was a great look.
But it was a great look.
What's the difference between a werewolf and a wolf man? Like, I never understood that.
One's more wolf-like, I think.
Yeah, I would think a werewolf is more all fours, and Wolfman is more face.
Semantics.
Yeah,
it's their ability to trademark it.
Yeah, that's what it is. It means that Wolfman is trademark and copyright.
It is. I mean, because werewolf
Studios.
is a term.
Hey, gentlemen.
They called him the Wolfman.
Gentlemen, I'm sorry. I gotta get going. I gotta go run this thing.
It's all good, buddy.
You got a Fragtober?
Yeah, I got Fragtober. You guys can discuss this comic book monster. I have it pulled up already.
Okay.
He's my favorite. You guys can discuss him if you haven't picked him already.
Where is he?
Yeah, I gotta share. I just want to do an honorable mention was for not a great film at all, but Curse of the Werewolf.
I love this. Great makeup.
That's a great rendition too.
Great makeup. Yep. So okay, Fraga. Where are you? All right, here we go. For Dan Fraga, real quick, we're gonna segue into comics. Just for Dan, give it 10 seconds. Boom.
There you go, Michael Morbius.
God damn it, that was my pick.
Well, then use it.
I've got a backup.
All right.
You guys have a great one. I'll see you guys.
Do you like him because he smokes weed?
Every day.
Have a good show, Dan.
See you, Dan.
Take it easy, Dan. Have a good one.
Yeah.
All right. But let me just go back real quick, if I may, to just to that extraordinary, and this is a painting by someone did, and Frederick Kuber, a great painting. But I just love that makeup, right? I mean, it's so bestial, and with that flowing, Victorian type shirt or whatever it was, and just remember when he was a kid banging on the bars, and he was like he was like a wild man werewolf, and just Oliver Reed just killed it in that.
I thought this was a pretty scary. I mean, this was a Hammer film, an early Hammer film, so it had a little bit of a bloody edge to it, and of course the beginning of it is just horrifying. What happens to his mother is just kind of like I remember seeing that as a kid, just going, "Oh, that's horrible." But
she's raped, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, she was raped by and he was cursed because she didn't want the baby because it was born on Christmas Day, and it's like if you have a baby born on Christmas Day that you don't want, it's cursed of the werewolf or something.
Gotcha.
But I thought that was a pretty scary film actually, but I only saw it as a kid, so it's hard to say as an adult how it reacted.
Right. So, all right. So, Arron, let's segue into the comics. Do you have a favorite comic book monster?
Hey, do you guys mind if we? Okay, there's two things that I wanted to add. Okay, do you remember the Abbott and Costello like meets Frankenstein and all those things?
Yeah. Of course.
I dug those. And then there was another one, which was it Rankin Bass, the Mad Monster?
Yes,
the Mad Monster Party.
Yeah, Monster Party.
Yeah. I dug those things. And just as an aside, like the first music I ever bought myself was the Monster Mash 45.
Yeah. You know, I got to tell you, I hate, what I didn't like about that movie is what I didn't like about the serials, that they make the werewolf, because I love the werewolves, right? I mean, look, I got this one.
All right.
Oh, this is extraordinary. Look at that.
Now you're making Aaron jealous.
Now you're making it.
They
make the werewolf like a dog. He's just like an idiotic dog, like Pluto. And I
in Mad Monster Party.
Yeah. And the same thing with the Blueberry cereal, whatever the heck the werewolf one and stuff. And he was like a dope.
Fruit Brute.
So all right, I apologize. All right.
I feel your pain, Billy, because as a Frankenstein lover, a lot of time he's just a big dummy too, and walking like this, and doesn't have any of the nuance that the Karloff monster has.
That's right.
And also, I think Karloff's version just aesthetically was the best.
Oh, yeah.
Like whenever, even when I was a kid and I saw like other Frankensteins, other actors playing the character, I was like, who is that? That's not Frankenstein. Like, I didn't know that there was different actors. I just knew that it looked different, You
weren't a fan of the Japanese Frankenstein movie? What was that
Karloff had the perfect face for makeup. And no matter what they made him up, he looked fantastic. And it's just kind of like Lon Chaney Sr. that Art was talking about. He,
very angular. Those angular faces are so perfect.
I think Boris has like a long kind of like from nose to lip too. So there's like proportional things that are just so stylistic and is that character for me. So anybody else portraying Frankenstein, it never works for me. What was the one Kenneth? What was the director's name? Branagh.
Oh
God! That movie.
Robert De Niro.
Oh, the one with Robert De Niro. Oh, that was.
Yeah,
that was so bad.
As soon as I heard the casting of De Niro, I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Five, six, Frankenstein.
But young Frankenstein though is one of the greatest horror films of all time.
That's a great comedy.
Going down the ridge.
I mean, it's so.
I told you to never disturb me while I'm working. Well, you just got a telegram from your fiance. You might want to put on a tie.
What's the one? Is that the one where Gene Wilder's like, whatever you do not open this door.
Right.
Get
me the hell out of here.
Oh, mommy.
If you're wrong answers, let me know.
Don't they know when I'm kidding?
Yeah. What hump?
Yeah.
What is that hump on the other side? What hump?
I'm gonna have to go watch that tonight.
Happy Normal. Yeah, that's a great movie.
It is an
all
awesome
right,
movie.
Arron. So let's talk comic monsters.
There it is. Bring it on up.
I don't see it. Oh,
it's right there.
Oh yeah, I apologize.
I forgive you.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I should have known.
I know. I was gonna say we should have guessed it.
Mike Plug, drawing Man-Thing.
So you're a big fan of Man-Things?
No,
giant size Man-Thing.
Only of this one Man-Thing.
This one Man-Thing. Okay, well, that's dedication.
Giant-sized Man-Thing.
Aaron's like, look at this one man thing.
Look at this frog, man. He's looking back at camera going, get.
I know.
Yeah, that's great. The frog looking back.
If this was a film, the director would be like, get that damn frog to stop looking straight at the camera.
Yeah.
Now what's the story between Man-Thing and Swamp Thing? Weren't they developed at the same time?
Well,
Swamp Thing was first.
Wasn't it?
I thought Swamp Thing was first.
No. What happened was it was not Marv Wolfman,
Len Wein?
Len Wein, and was it Archie? No, Roy Thomas or Archie Goodman. So one of them were roommates, and they both. So it's hard to. I can't remember who the first writer was on Man-Thing, because it was Savage Tales #1, which came out in 1970, and so I guess I know Gray Morrow drew it, but I can't think of who. I can't think of who wrote it, but whoever wrote it, it might have been Archie Goodwin. I can't remember, but he was roommates with Ween. And so there's some discussion about who one of them came up with this idea and the other one ripped him off or something. I don't know, but there was kind of a race to get the swamp creature out. And so House of Secrets 92, which was the first Swamp Thing, came out of just a little bit. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe the Man-Thing. Actually, I think the Man-Thing story came out before the House of Secrets, because the House of Secrets was 71, I think. So, but it's not actually clear who conceptualized this swamp creature idea first. It was who got it out first. But when I was a kid, buying comics off the rack, started in 73, 74, I was buying Frankenstein and the Man-Thing just because they were monster books, Yeah. And so this one, I discovered Wrightson's Swamp Thing after, as a kid that was, I don't know, I was 14 or 15 when I realized that Swamp Thing, from 1972, and Wrightson, I discovered that as a back issue type situation. So when I was first buying comics off the rack, I wasn't buying Swamp Thing, I was buying Man-Thing. So that was kind of my first swamp creature that sort of enamored me, was Man-Thing. And even though I love Wrightson's Swamp Thing and I love Wrightson, this was the one for me.
Well, just imagine Wrightson drawing Swamp Thing.
Well, or Man-Thing. Yeah, he did.
Man-Thing. I'm sorry, Man-Thing.
He did one it was a Hulk cover.
Hulk cover, yeah.
Yeah. Hulk is fighting Man-Thing. It's a pretty sweet cover that Wrightson did, but I think that's the only time he ever drew him that I remember.
Yeah, that's a cool cover.
It was like 197 or Hulk 197, something like that.
Somewhere near 200.
Yeah. And the collectors in the background rooting him on. I remember that.
Well, the Man-Thing always had a snorkel like an elephant. So I always thought, this is the Elephant Man? Like, what is this thing?
Yeah, and like almost no mouth. It's like he's got like a Andy Gump mouth.
Yeah. Now, I've never read Man-Thing. So what's the premise?
The burn the touch that burns, like if he touched you, burn you.
Well, the thing is, Ted Sallis was this. The origins are all the same. He was creating, I believe, a super soldier serum or something like that, and some agents were chasing him, and he injects himself with it to protect the serum formula from these, commies or whoever were chasing him, and then he ends up, going, and he crashes the car into a swamp. And his body mingles with it, and he comes out the Man-Thing. That's pretty much it.
What's interesting about the Man-Thing is now, did Plug draw the first one?
No.
Who was the first artist?
Gray Morrow?
Gray Morrow did the very first story in Savage Tales.
So did Gray Morrow do the character design?
Well, here's the thing: that you guys are familiar with the Heap, right? From Airboy back in the 50s. This is a blatant ripoff of the Heap.
Yeah.
So whoever did the design, I would assume it's Gray Morrow, since that was the first,
Right.
My guess is someone just said, copy that.
Well, but what's interesting is that his body shape is completely different. That he's got that big hump, he's got that weird shaped head, the snorkel, the elongated arms, whereas like the Swamp Thing looks like a bodybuilder with green shit on him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And kind of a skull face.
Yeah, and a skull face.
So what's the story though? What does he do? Like kids get trapped in the swamp and he saves them? Or?
He was the guy who did Gerber did the best stories, and he used Man-Thing as a catalyst to tell other stories because he's mindless, and he's drawn to people through their emotions. So he's drawn into situations, but he just and anybody who fears him burns at his touch. I don't know why that is, but so he would use him. He would bring in supporting characters that would, like there was a witch out in the woods, right? And this young guy, a couple of hippies, this young guy and this chick, man, and they would hang with the Man-Thing, and they'd get in trouble, and the Man-Thing would come and save them. But it was never a story about the Man-Thing. It was a story about crime, or there's that great cover. I think it's issue 6 where there's he's holding this clown, right? Who's this,
that's the first issue of Man Thing I ever bought. I love that one with the clown.
Because he's like suicidal. This clown goes in the swamp to kill himself or something, you know, and the Man Thing happens to be there, and there's this whole, but it has nothing to do with the Man Thing. It's about this clown and his story.
Yeah.
And the Man Thing is just sort of there as a catalyst to move the story along. And that's how Gerber always treated him, because he's a mindless, shambling Hulk. What do you do with him, right? If he can't think or communicate, you can only use him as a prop to tell another story. And that's pretty much what Gerber did.
Yeah. Yeah, that clown story was freaky. It was scary and filled with pathos too.
Yeah, it really was. Which, you know, Gerber tried to do the same thing when I worked on Sludge. He wanted to use Sludge as a catalyst to tell crime stories, and that's where we butted heads all the time, because I wanted to do a monster book and he wanted to do a crime book. And so whenever he wrote the issues, it was a crime story, and then when he wouldn't turn in a script and I wrote the issue, it was Monster of the Month. You know, let him fight, you know, the alligator in the sewer, or the Frankenstein monster, or Lord Pumpkin I brought in, you know, things like that. So, but
cool.
Excellent.
Well, we have it.
All right there, Graham. What do you got, buddy?
Well, mine is going to be maybe
look
no.
At you. Look at you. Look at you.
I'm getting a twofer on this one.
You old codger, you. Boom.
My favorite one is the Hulk.
Which one?
That's what I picked. Yeah.
Oh, which one did you pick, though?
I love that cover.
Yeah. This is one of my all-time favorite Marvel covers. It's so full of dread. The Hulk looks so much bigger and more powerful. He looks Frankensteinish. And then there's my boy, the Thing, you know, coming along, ready to clobber whoever comes at him. So I've got two favorite monsters here. I've got the Thing and the Hulk.
You know, the cover to 25 where they fight is a really great cover too, where they're just more Kirby, classic Kirby, in the sense that they're just duking it out, but that's a great cover as well.
This one is so suspenseful.
Yes.
You know, I just love, you know, Hulk says, you know, another second I'll destroy them all. And they're just about to meet up, you know, it's like, man, like he's going to cold cock the Thing, because he's not going to think, you know, fight.
He's got that fist loaded up if you see his right fist.
And look at the hair on the forearms. Kirby used to do the hair on the forearms on the Hulk too. And he's got the 3 toes and the 3 fingers and that Frankenstein brow. That cover scared me as a kid.
That'd be you couldn't resist picking that up, man. If you were a kid back then and that comic came out, it was like, how do you not buy that book?
And like, why don't they do this today?
Well,
right? I mean,
they would be in a relationship.
You can't. Today they would be sitting at a psychiatrist's office working out their feelings.
Yeah.
For each other.
Hulk,
right?
Pronoun.
Right. All right. Well, then, Art, if you're going to pick one of them, you want to load up yours and we'll discuss yours.
Yeah, I got mine. Let me hit the screen share. And so mine was the Thing. So I like the Thing and the Hulk, but the Thing would probably, for me, would top the Hulk. Although I did this book right here. And
that's the one, 25.
There it is.
Yeah, and then the one was it Buscema that drew with all the black in the back?
Oh, Submariner, right?
Great cover.
Or no, yeah. What was that? Fantastic Four 112?
Yeah.
Those things just still I have impact. You know, I can remember them as a child. So so my thing was
I got something better for you, Art. Hang on.
It's always Ben Grimm.
There you go.
That's the splash page from that issue.
Oh, cool.
How much do you think that's worth?
Oh, geez. But seriously, one of the greatest comic book stories of all time.
Yeah, and I think I think Ben Grimm was one of those just completely relatable characters, and you always felt for him. And then you know, like the ever-loving blue-eyed thing. He had blue eyes, so he always seemed sensitive. You know, even though you know the only thing that anybody expected from him was just to clobber, you know, somebody. But that he did have a heart of gold. And then I always loved the Yancey Street stuff and going and hanging out, having a beer. So even as a kid, I thought that was cool, you know?
Yeah.
And then he was kind of the protector of the Fantastic Four. So he would be the first guy in, just kind of take the heat, you know? And I always thought that was like, he's just a cool character.
I like how Ben Grimm was a fighter pilot too. So like, you know, fly the, the Fantastic Four jets and shit. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I thought like I did a run on the Fantastic Four, and I think it was Chris Claremont was writing, but they didn't use the Thing in any, because I don't like when they do these stories where if you want to show the villain and how badass they are, they'll just take down Ben Grimm real quick. And I think that that's one way you can do it, but it seemed like that's all they did. Later that, if there was a badass villain, then they would take down Ben Grimm real quick, and then, you would move on. And I never liked that, because I always thought, like, you gotta have him just, hold his own every once in a while and clean somebody's clock.
Yeah, you wait for that clobbering time moment,
right?
It's almost like the splash page you're waiting for, where he's been beaten down and you think he's going to lose, and then he sucks it up because he's too ugly to die, that kind of thing, and then it's clobbering time, and then bam. I love those sequences in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, and just later they just didn't get it.
Yeah, epic battles with Dr. Doom, man. Those were just.
Yeah, in FF40, where he crushes his hands and completely humiliates Doom because, he was Ben Grimm, and Reed has to turn him back into the Thing against his will. And so he's angry at that. And then and Doom had been fucking around with him. So he just lets Doom have it and beats the living shit out of him and crushes him. And he's going to kill him. And Reed says, no, let him go. He's defeated. And Doom goes skulking away, and, that's awesome.
I remember like my Ben Grimm, my big professional Ben Grimm moment was I was having a conversation with Walter Simonson on the phone, and I think we had already worked with each other prior on a Fantastic Four issue, and so he said, I don't know what to do with this thing. It was when the woman was like, it was the female Thing, and then Ben Grimm was the he was human, he was back, and then he's like, well, what would you do? I said, well, I don't find her compelling, and I don't think Ben Grimm is that interesting, if he's not the Thing. And so he said, well, what would you do? And I said, well, they're supposed to be romantic, right? And he's like, well, kind of. And I said, well, what if, as a romantic gesture, they reverse the roles? Like, he becomes the Thing again, even though that's the thing he said he never wanted to do. And so he becomes, the monster again. And so then he can be compatible with her. Well, what ends up happening is she thinks the same thing at the same time. So then she reverts to human form. And so, because I always thought, like, you need to write this wrong. Ben Grimm needs to be the Thing. This is not the Thing. And so he did. It was the X-Men annual. And so he gave me credit. Walter gave me credit in the credits, and he said, "Thanks to Art Thibert, but no money." So he took the idea. He credited me so far. Yeah, I didn't get paid, but that's Walter. Yeah,
I think it'd be cool to explore Ben Grimm. Like, if he turned back into Ben Grimm, I would go all Chuck Yeager on him, and explore that aspect of his life. And then, have him go into some type of deadly conflict type thing where he has to turn back into the Thing, or he's going to die,
or
and
someone else is going to die,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The worst thing he wants to be is the Thing, but like, he has to either do it because he's going to die or somebody else is going to die.
So what you're saying is, like, all the life that he never got to live, you would show that. You'd show him as like a successful fighter pilot,
or test
having
pilot,
a successful life, and then being faced with, like, having to go back. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Great story.
You should do that, Graham. Call up Marvel. I'm sure they'll invite you right in to take over.
Oh, they'll take all my calls, whenever I call. Yeah,
that's right.
All right. Andy, what do we got?
All right. Well, share the old screen.
Yeah, Andy, what do you got?
I was going to switch it up, but because of Dan, but I'm like, screw it. This was the original pick.
Yes.
I love Morbius. I love the design. I remember this cover and just being like, oh, that's awesome. Backhanding Spider-Man.
Look at all the arms of Spider-Man.
What's that?
That's a creepy storyline, man. That 100, 101, and 102.
Yeah.
It still always bugged me that he only has 6, like, with the legs. He still doesn't have 8.
Well, he has 8 with the legs.
Well,
He's got the legs. He has 8.
technically.
Okay, that's right. He's got 2 arms on each side and then the legs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get that straight.
You're forgetting a limb.
So now Peter Parker walked around like that. No one knew that he was Spider-Man?
No, he was held up in an old
Right.
beach house, a haunted house in the beach where he did this experiment, and he turned and gave him the 6 arms. And so that's how they leave like the end of issue 100. Spoiler alert.
Right.
And he's like, he rips out of his shirt. And he's like, oh my gosh, I become a real Spider-Man. That's
It's
like,
a cool splash page of him and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, semi.
And the origin of Morbius, where he's on that cargo ship, and he's in a hole, and it's all dark and creepy, and he ends up killing the whole crew and stuff. It's like that's a really creepy scene. And then he ends up, of course, jumping ship and ends up in the same haunted house with the 6-armed Spider-Man. So I love that. I love that storyline.
Why do I think you have the original issue still?
Well, no, I don't. I sold my Spider-Man collection about 5 years ago.
Well, I bet you wish you had it now.
Well, yes and no, but it's like I could never get Spider-Man #1 or Amazing 15 because they're too expensive. So I just got frustrated. Like, I've got every issue except those 2, and I'll never complete it. So why am I hanging on to this? So I sold it and paid off my truck or something. I can't remember what I did, but I did something constructive with the money.
Anyhow, that's mine. I've always
Junior #4 too.
Nice.
I took some of that money and got a Captain Marvel Junior #4.
And I'll show mine now.
All right, let's see it.
Werewolf by Night.
Graham.
Well, you said you were a werewolf guy.
Yeah, totally. That was it. Yeah, Werewolf by Night.
Don Perlin. Baby.
I almost went with Manwolf.
No, so. Jack Russell. Again, just because he was a werewolf, and I thought it was cool. I was buying Werewolf by Night and war books, so I didn't really buy Spider-Man's and the superhero stuff. Really, that was my sort of thing. And I just loved it as a werewolf, and I'm like, I'm gonna write this someday, and I get disappointed at some of the things and feel I could write it better. But I think Plug designed him as well, right?
Yeah, he did his first one in Marvel Spotlight #2.
Look at that brush work. That's really well done.
Yeah.
That's a Gil Kane drawing. I don't know who inked it.
Yeah. I think it might be Tom Sutton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but just stunning. Let's see if it says. No, they won't give credit to the artist at all.
Well, after Plug left the book, Don Perlin was like the regular guy on Werewolf by Night for years.
Yeah.
Then I was reading when they had more Wolfman write an issue or 2 or a couple of issues and stuff, and a Wolfman is writing a werewolf.
Oh yeah, that's right.
However, they promoted it.
Yeah.
But just visually fantastic.
Yeah.
Fighting Spider-Man and things like. I just loved it. I love
those early ones that Plug did, and I think Jerry Conway wrote.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it was Jerry Conway.
Yeah.
Then later on, when Perlin came in and Mensch, it was like, it's not.
Yeah, but he had those cool in the early issues. He had those cool early '70s fashion he'd wear and stuff, and then he tear it all apart and become a werewolf. And as a monster kid, who couldn't? Yeah. Who wouldn't love that?
Do you remember the one where the 2 werewolves fought?
Yes,
the gray werewolf
and
the brown wolf.
Yep.
Ron Wilson cover. Werewolf by Night #18.
Actually, that story arc went on, I think, through like 21 or 22. I remember buying all those and loved it. That was so cool.
There it is.
What number is that?
18.
Is that a Perlin one?
Yeah. Nice. June of '74. Yeah.
Where is it? Oh. What's the
full screen then? Come on now.
Single screen there, Billy?
Yep. Give me a second. Let me trying to
just happen to have
there you go.
There it is.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Mike Friedrich was the writer. How about that?
Yeah, Friedrich was here by then.
Murder by Moonlight.
What was the cover again on 18? Was that the one where he had the Oh yeah.
Who did
it's
that
got
cover?
green pants, so that's why it's
it looks like Gil Kane, right? Is that Gil?
It's actually it's Ron Wilson and Frank Giacoia.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And well, let me there you go. Well, I'm going to share something when you talk about monsters fighting each other. I have to give an honorable mention to this one, I think.
Oh, I was gonna mention that. Yeah, as a kid, that was like a movie event.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
I'm going to lose more followers now, or backers, because I'm going to diss on this. This is
come on, dude. This is
one of the greatest kaiju movies ever.
Oh,
I love this. Yeah,
it is so scary in that beginning when the fisherman's talking about the monster chasing him in the water, and then they show him. And then when he's running across the tarmac at the airport, the sound,
boom, yeah,
jumps into the water. I mean, the words get stuck in my throat talking about this.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to leave the show. I can't take it.
All right, what's your man thing have a problem with this now?
What's that?
Well, why does your man thing have a problem with this one now?
I just thought these were so dumb. I'm
The
sorry.
War of the Gargantuans?
All the Godzilla franchise movies, I just thought they were lame. Even as a kid, I liked them a little bit as a kid.
Okay, let's watch this. Hang on. Let me see if I didn't share the thing, so let's watch this. This is great stuff.
Yeah, I dug it too, Billy.
Thank you. Oh, look at
There we go. There's the octopus.
Oh, the horror.
oh my God.
Oh my God.
How dare you?
Oh, the horror.
Look at that. Now the green one was the good guy, right? And the brown
No, the brown one was the good guy.
The brown one was the good guy. Okay. And the green one was bigger than the brown one, though, right?
No, other way around.
Oh,
the good guy was bigger than the smaller one.
Yeah.
And they always had one American actor in there, you know?
Yeah, that's what's his name? Riff.
Russ Tamblyn.
Yeah, Russ
Tamblyn. Oh, she's good looking.
Look at her.
Oh, look, is that a baby?
It's a baby gargantuan?
Yeah, that's the brown one as a baby.
That's where they got the idea for Hellboy.
That's all the sound. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, yes.
Look at those realistic sets. They're just incredible.
You know what's funny? It's like there's two versions of this movie. There's one where Russ Tamblyn's voice is speaking, you know, and they dub all the Japanese actors, which is really, it's terrible because Russ Tamblyn was asleep through this movie. He must have still been doing his drugs or something because he doesn't give a shit about his lines. But then there's the Japanese version where all the Japanese are speaking their language and it's subtitled, but Russ Tamblyn is dubbed in English. And the dude that's dubbing it in English sounds much better than Russ Tamblyn.
Yeah, Russ Tamblyn.
He's like, this is a paycheck. This is my break.
Yeah, all of a sudden he's got passion in his voice, you know?
Oh, look at that.
So are these like giant Frankenstein monsters? What was the shtick on this again?
This was supposed to be the sequel to Frankenstein Conquers the World.
Yeah.
And in the version I told you about,
look at that. Oh, man.
There is reference to it. In the American version, there's no reference to Frankenstein, but in the Japanese one, they do refer to them as the Frankensteins.
Okay.
Oh man.
Who created them then?
Atomic Energy. I don't know. Atomic Bomb Blast.
I don't remember what.
I remember those Japanese movies where the let me stop sharing. The Japanese army, if you remember, they had those really cool green uniforms and their helmets were shiny.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember when you buy your army helmets in the Toys R Us when you were kids or whatever, and then that olive drab green. Well, we get this green bright spray paint, that dark, and try to make it look like the Japanese soldiers because they look so cool in the monster movies.
Japanese Defense Force.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
so Aaron, you just weren't a fan of the War of the Gargantuans, right?
No, not really.
I'm doing it for Christmas Eve, Aaron. So, or not Christmas Eve. October 30th. That's 31 Days of Monsters. That's it's War of the Gargantuans.
Oh, excellent.
I'll sleep in. Sorry.
Hey,
you sleep in anyway. You're on West Coast time.
That's right, man. I'm not. It's like dark here when you're doing your show. I'm just like, I can't get up to watch it as much as I want to. I have to watch
I have a candy commercial. Can I share this as a Halloween candy commercial?
Yes, please. And then we're going to wrap it up because we have Mark Wheatley coming on with the
is this Twix? What commercial?
Yes.
Oh God. All right. Yeah. Show it.
This is nuts. Can you see it?
Yep.
Full screen it, Art.
Yeah, full screen.
This is crazy. Should I pause this every once in a while? Will we get struck?
I don't think so because it's just a commercial.
Do you need the sound?
Yeah, because sometimes if you hear the sound, yeah. Oh, you guys can't hear the sound?
No, we can, but do we need the sound?
Okay, yeah, I got it turned up.
If you play it without the sound, I probably won't get struck.
Okay.
They won't notice it. Nice.
So some hot witch shows up at her house.
Shuts the door.
Your parents seem to think you do.
No, she's inside.
She's a witch.
She's a babysitter?
Helping her with homework.
Yeah.
Oh, charcoal? Why are you dressed up? It's not Halloween yet.
Okay, I just want to point out one thing. That's not a little girl.
It's not.
What do you mean?
It's a boy. It's a boy who likes to dress like a girl.
Yeah.
Oh,
and she's telling me it's okay to dress like that.
Yeah, this is propaganda, but I'll play the rest.
Oh, jeez. I don't want to get struck by this. I don't want to get struck by propaganda.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Yeah, I got it. I don't care.
So this is a new commercial.
Yeah, this is new. This is this year.
Jesus.
So he's a boy who likes to.
You want me to just give you the highlights then?
Yeah,
Sure.
just give us the highlights.
This is the scariest thing I've seen. Like,
what candy is this? So I know what not to eat.
It's for Twix. Yeah, don't buy
they suck anyway.
So the thing is, okay, so it's a witch that comes over and she's the babysitter, right? And so it's a little boy dressed in a girl's, outfit. And so then there's these kids that come and then they say, hey, what do you dress? Why do you have a dress on? And so then the witch she's kind of going to go use her witch powers to hurt these two little girls, right? But she doesn't. She pulls back. And so then the little boy dressed like a girl goes to the park with the witch. And so then there's this little boy with a Superman cape on, and he's like, why are you dressed in a dress? So when I first saw it, I was thinking like, well, it's not Halloween yet. Like this little girl's dressing like a princess, but it's actually a little boy. And so then before the little boy dressed like a girl can react, the witch just summons up her witch powers and she sends this kid into a tornado. And then all you see is his cape fly. Like, who knows what she just did to this kid, right? And so then the little girl boy runs over.
She doesn't like bisexuals. That's why. Because Superman is bisexual.
Yeah.
And then, so then the witch, she's like, are we okay? And then she goes, well, we need to walk a little faster or something like that. So the witch knows that she just committed a crime. So they have to get out of there. And then it goes, Twix.
So she just murders some kid?
That's what they don't really show it, but the kid's obviously hurt, and
you don't go into a tornado and come out not hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
Enough to throw the cape off. And I was like, wow, this is the scariest thing I've seen this Halloween.
That's terrible.
My gosh.
It's wrong on so many levels, and it's propaganda in the worst of ways. I mean, when you start aiming this stuff at little children, it's absolutely disgusting.
So the message here is for adults can kill little children
that make
fun of other little children.
They're transgender,
and they get candy for it.
Well, there's all kinds of things wrong with it. I mean, if you guys watch it, go ahead.
I was gonna say, this isn't a TV commercial, right? It's like one of these internet commercials, right? Because they couldn't show that on TV.
I'm not sure.
Why not? I mean, I haven't seen it on TV.
Well, no, you see those Jack Link commercials that are YouTube or internet only, where the guy gets his arm ripped off by Bigfoot and things like that they don't show on TV. You couldn't show this, whether the transgender thing aside, this witch killing a little kid. They wouldn't show that on TV, I don't think.
Why did they even make it? Like
I don't know.
I have no idea.
They do have what you'd call adult content commercials that they run on the internet that don't get on regular TV.
Well, there's a new Doritos commercial that came out that is so ridiculous as well. It's it looks like it's Pixar type animation, and I believe it's I believe the commercial runs in Mexico. So the basic gist is this old woman and her family are going to a cemetery to pay their respects to an uncle that passed away. So far, you're going, what's this have to do with Doritos? And then the ghost of like the uncle comes up, and his face is withdrawn. He's the character's blue because he's dead. And they're like, oh, because they see the ghost and whatever, So you're like, okay. And then another ghost comes from behind them, and it's a male ghost, and they're holding hands. And the basic gist of the commercial is he's not alone up in heaven. He found somebody else. He found his soulmate, Doritos. And you're just like, what the hell is this? I saw it today. I'm like,
I'm just thinking, like, it's not even about the product. It's not like, ooh, this is delicious Doritos or anything. It's like it's pure propaganda.
Yeah, they slap a Doritos sign on it.
Yeah. It's absolutely insane, man. But remember what was it on Ethan's channel where Graham found the monkeys, with riding the bikes and stuff like that.
Oh my God, yeah, that was a great.
Oh yeah.
This rivals that, man. This is like right up there with just freaking nuttiness aimed at kids. Oh my gosh. Yeah, don't buy any Twix, you guys.
Yeah.
We're not gonna be able to buy anything before long.
Right.
Oh God.
I'm gonna start putting razors back in my apples. I'm gonna go back old school.
Wow.
We'll use it against you.
Well, now we're going to get struck. Thanks.
There you go. Well, all right, guys. Listen, I want to thank you all, the bros. I hope that you guys appreciate us being in solidarity with you.
We do.
I couldn't find a skull cap. I went to every drugstore. I went to the two Spirit Halloween stores and two Party Cities.
And you couldn't find a bald cap?
They're all gone. And I'm like, really? And so I got
last minute.
So it's kind of like a bald cap, right? Kind of.
I blame the lockdown. It's the lockdown, man. There's a shortage of bald.
Where did you get yours, Art?
Just like Party City or whatever. Yeah.
We were out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm seeing more guys without hair than with hair these days.
Well, this is actually glued to my head.
It's tight.
Yeah.
Guess who's going to be bald tomorrow for real?
It's got to be hot, right? Is it really hot?
Yeah, you can kind of see. It's all you can see my hair through. It's like I pulled back. The back is all wet.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know how people wear these at work.
Yeah,
it's supposed to wear a wig on. I went to
later tonight. Art's going to go to take it off, and his wife's going to be like, "Leave it on."
Yeah. Now imagine being Burt Reynolds, and walking around with a freaking toupee on all the time in Florida. Oh my God, the sweat that would be gathering up there. How horrible.
Rip Art's hair.
All right,
Pete. All right, guys. Well, listen, thank you all for joining us. I have our links. All of our campaigns are in the description. Guys, this was a great show.
It was awesome. Thank you so much.
Always fun.
You guys are awesome. I'll see you all tomorrow. And please stick around. We'll be on with the great Mark Wheatley, who's another big horror fan.
Nice.
Following up with Niall Scala on the PopXP. So you guys rock. Stick around. Watch the next show. We're going to have a lot of fun with Mark. And that's a quick one, half-hour show. And listen, everyone be safe this Halloween. I hope to see you guys before that. I don't know if anyone's going to be streaming before that. I know you will, Graham. Mm-hmm. So I'll pop in for you a super chat and ask you questions about War of the Gargantuans.
And tomorrow I'm going to tell my my freeway strangler story, my serial killer story.
Oh, there it is.
When? What time? Like when?
It'll be early. It'll probably be around 10-ish between.
Can you say? Can we come in on that and just ask you? I'd like to interview you.
I'll invite you guys in. I'll send a link. Yeah, so it'll be about like 10 between 10 and 11. And
your time, Art.
Central time, yeah.
Central time, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys think of me with a mustache and a beard and a goatee?
I like it.
Hey,
I was actually going to say real quick. So November is No Shave November. So who's with me? You do not shave your face or your head for the whole month of November.
Oh my God!
I'll look the same. I'll look exactly the same.
I'm going to go for it. I try every month, see if I can make it 30 days. So I shave up on October 31st. and I try to go the whole month of November without shaving anything.
Oh,
I do that for deadlines. Like if it's a deadline, I'll just I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to shave. I'm not going to clean up until the deadline's met.
But I shave my head for one day. It's like Velcro. Trying to put a shirt on, it's like
you have to tell me.
Billy looks like he should be part of like one of those Civil War reenactors, like with a mustache.
Billy, you should so grow a mustache like that.
There I was.
That's an awesome stash.
There it is.
I could try it.
And I'm
all right, guys. You guys are the best.
All right, my bros.
All right.
Guys, thank you all. Everyone out there, thank you so much for joining us. This was a lot of fun. Very enlightening. I love learning about all of your childhood favorites. And listen, check these guys out. The Jack Show's on tonight as well. And it's great having you guys on. So we're going to end it, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.
See ya.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on PopXP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the PopXP and over on Instagram at the PopXP. Thanks again everyone, and we'll see you soon.